the at the end of the farm, like the hotel, and it's new. It's like a room for co-working, for parties, for have a little gym in there, and all that things. And Martin is working in like a, how do you say cabaña? Cabin, like a little cabin, but it's not ready yet.
Okay.
And that cabin have 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, sorry, and 1 bathroom and a little kitchen, and that's it.
Oh, excellent. And that cabin is for, like, you know, for romantic couples, or, you know, what's the idea?
No, because it's big, because it have three bedrooms, no, 3 rooms, 3 rooms. And no, it's big, and it's for family to spend with family. The thing is like it's more lonely, because the hotel is connect with the kitchen and it's very open, but the cabin is like more lonely, lonelier, more, like
private
space. Yes, private. Yes, more private. And the hotel have 2 dogs. One is Daniela. It's like a chanda. I don't know. Martin love her. It's like the love of her, of his life, is because his father loved these dogs very much. Okay, and the other dog is how do you say Labrador?
A Labrador. Let's say a lab.
Chocolate. I don't know.
You can say a chocolate Labrador or a chocolate lab.
Chocolate Labrador, and his name is Choco. And yes, and that's it. And like in the middle of the kitchen and in the other room, it's the house of Martin and his dad. This is like new. We like how do you say, como que se terminó? I don't know.
It was finished.
It was finished. It was finished in January of this year. Yes, it's very new. I don't remember. It's January. I think it's January. And his father was very happy about this space, because he lived in a room that it's connected with the hotel, and that's is not good, because he don't have like a more private, more privacy. Privacy. Yes, privacy. And that's it. And Martin went in pandemic and stay here with his dad, and now Martin live here.
Oh, that's wonderful. So
yes.
And would you like, in the future, would you like to live there? Just when you finish and you're just thinking about future plans, would you like to live in an area like that, or maybe would you think of living in an apartment in Medellin near your parents? What are your plans maybe for the living situation in the future? Where would you like to live?
Okay, I don't have problem if I live here with Martin, but I think that, and I say to to him like I want to get married and do the things like correctly.
Okay.
And I don't know if when I graduate, when where I go to another town because of the when you like finish medicine, you have to
Yeah,
to have
the rural years.
yes
and stuff.
yes do the rural year, and I
Mhm.
don't know where I finish, where town or where space I going to do the rural.
Mhm.
But I like here. I like here. It's 5 hour about 5 hour Medellin, but I think
Mhm.
that we it's far away, but with car it's not so far away. I don't know.
Yeah, it's actually a little closer by car, and obviously many people are thinking of living over there, Llano Grande, Rio Negro, San Antonio, because many people uh, maybe are trying to change their life a little bit, and looking for more privacy, a little more
Yes.
contact with nature. So people are the people that have the possibility are changing their apartments in the Poblado or in some sectors of Medellin to go to this, because they are looking for like more relaxing things. And, like
Yes.
you said, the distance to Medellin is not that far. It's about maybe 40, 45 minutes by car. With
Yes.
the tunnel, maybe it's even shorter. So
In pandemic, I think that all the persons think about you say, because the apartment is very small, and we have to stay there always, and don't have like a green zone and all that things.
okay. So let's talk a little bit about the future. And you were telling me about getting married. I know that you're very young, so more or less, obviously you still have to finish your medicine, your career, specialization, and everything. But more or less, at what age would you think you would like to get married?
Okay, I don't know, because when I finish my career, I have like 24 years old,
Mhm.
and I think like I can get married. I will be 10, okay, 24 years old, and I think that I will get married like I don't know. It's not like uh, in that age, but I think how do you say approximadamente?
You can say approximately.
Approximately. No, I don't know how to pronounce.
Approximately separate. Approximately.
Approximately. Okay,
Yeah, or
approximately.
you can also abbreviate it to approx, or
Okay,
around.
approx or around 26, 27 years old. But Martin and I, we don't have like a fun. I don't know how do you say a fun.
No,
And
you can say.
Martin is very relaxed. He always like say like I don't will get married, and I say to him like it's very important to me, to my family, because it's like tradition, but he said like okay, I think about it, and I can change my object about that.
Yeah, obviously life changes, plans changes, and obviously there's many things that we have planned for our future, and sometimes it's very different. Example, my case, I always said, I always thought about getting married. So since I was a child, I tried to be like very traditional, but I always thought I had like the idea, and I had a girlfriend for a couple of years, and I always had the idea, no, I will get married when I'm 30 years old. I will get married when I'm 30 years old. That was my plan, just to study, to work, to whatever. And then, life changed, my situation changed, and I was actually married 2 years before my initial plan. I was married when I was 28 years old, but I was always thinking more or less to follow the same route that my parents, because my parents got married when they were around 31 years old. So I was like, I think I'm going to do the same thing. But, obviously life changes, plans changes, and I was able to get married, 2 years before my initial plan.
Yes, the future is okay. You have like a plan for the future, but it's unpredictable. I don't know. It's
very good. You say the future is unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
Or you can say the future is uncertain.
And what?
Uncertain.
Uncertain.
All right, uncertain. Uncertain, which is incierto.
Uncertain. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. And okay, so let's think about you getting married and everything. Without obviously just thinking of general things. What would like be your wedding plans? How would you like to get married? Just like a traditional ceremony, or would you like to go to the beach, or go to Las Vegas and get married like in a casino? What have you thought about those plans? Obviously I know it's very early and you're very young, but I think every girl thinks about that.
Yes. Yes. I think that I want a little ceremony in Medellin. Small, because when we talk with Martin, he say like, oh, it's better like travel and not a party. But I think I want a party like traditional but very small, and then we will travel to another place and stay there. But I want a little. It's not like expensive or extravagant.
Yes,
extravagant thing. No, I'm very like basic.
That's very nice. Very intimate, just family, close friends. Maybe about how many people do you think? Maybe less than 50, less than 100.
I don't know, because my family is very big, and I don't know, and friends, and I don't know. I think I want like a small, like a little party, but when I think about like the how do you say como invitados, invited,
the guest,
okay, yes, guest, the guest, I think, oh my god, I don't know.
No,
how small is
that is extremely complicated. No, that
your party, you do a party.
Yes, I had a reception, a party, and everything. But that was actually one of the first fights of my pre-matrimony, because actually when we were planning to get married, that was one of the biggest fights that I had with my wife, was deciding who we were going to invite, because we had more or less, we were thinking about like our friends, our family, some people from work.
Yes.
But I'm a little more sociable than she is. So I had many people from the office that I wanted to invite. I wanted to like all the office where I used to work, and there were about like 30 people in the office at the moment. And then she told me, why are you, I wanted to invite the friends of my mom, the friends of my dad. I wanted to invite so many people. So we were in La Jugosa in here downtown, and we were just planning, and then my list was 3 times bigger than her list. So I had about like 70 people. She had like 30 people, and I was like, okay, but I'm more. She's like, no, we don't need so many people. Why do we need so many people? You don't know that many people. Yes, I do know that many people. They said, and we had a very, very big fight. A humongous fight. And we're like, fine, then we're not gonna get married anyway. No, let's cancel everything. But obviously we were able to work things out. And if I'm not mistaken, in my wedding there are about 120 people, more or less.
Oh my god, big.
Yeah, that was very big. But and when I think about it in this moment, I think she was right. I didn't need so many people in our wedding because obviously you want to be polite, you want to invite the people that
Yes.
you think you are friends with, but it's not necessarily the case. And I would have preferred, the money that we invested in that ceremony, having all those guests, I would have, preferred to do like a private ceremony, like the mass, they have like a little breakfast or dinner or whatever with the, few guests, and then, go on
Trouble.
vacation, travel or something like that. Obviously, so it was fun. We had fun. It was an excellent something that we will remember forever. But looking back in this moment when we talk about that, we say the same thing. And it's not that we made a mistake. It's just that you think that things are going to
Yes.
come out. Just we were happy with how it came out, but we would have preferred, in the future, just thinking about maybe traveling to another place, spending that money on another thing. But yeah, I had a pretty big party and it was fun. I had a papayera and a chirimia that was included in the
Yes.
plan. Yeah, so one came like at 10 o'clock, the other one came like at 1 o'clock or 10 at night, then one in the morning. Oh, pretty fun.
So great.
Yeah, excellent. Obviously there were some situations that happened in the ceremony, the cake, obviously there's always problems, but we were able to solve everything. That was the most important thing.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. Okay. All right. And a little bit more in the future. You said, you want to be traditional, marriage. What about children? Have you thought about maybe how many children you want to have, or if you want to have children?
Yes. Eh, with Martin and I have like a different families because Martin have two siblings,
Mhm.
and his parents, so his parents, like how do you say divorciaron?
Are divorced or were divorced or got divorced?
Got divorced, and
Mhm.
his family is not like united, but my family is different. My family is
Mhm.
very united. It's good united. Okay, it's
Yeah.
very united. I have I have four siblings, and with my uncles and my grandmother are very united too. So I always think that I have that. I have that I live with my family because always we celebrate together. Always December, all the birthdays, and that was very um, happier to me. And Martin, like how do you conoció eso, como like he
He knew that,
he
or he saw that, or
he knew
experienced
that,
that.
and so that
Mhm.
he experienced that, and he liked it.
Mhm.
And I'll always say like I want that for me. I think 5 children. I know it's so much, but I don't know if I have 5 too, but the limit is 5. Because I want a big family, and I want that my children have friends of the friends of his brothers, and that's it. Because my family it's like like I want to do the same that I saw or I learned to my family, because always we want to repeat, and we I want to get the marriage that my fathers have. Uh, like in the last month, my father's uh, how do you say, like okay, celebrate 13 39 years to get married, and that was
Wow.
very, very like beautiful, and I want that, like stability, love, big family, and my family of Martin, because of his dad, now is like united because of that experience, but because I think always we have to be united, for the experience and that, because we lost years when we are not united. That's things. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Wow, 5 children. That's a lot. Half of a soccer team. That's excellent. That's wonderful. Obviously that's very nice, and different than many people think in this moment, because many young people are saying either no children or one or two, but obviously having a big family is excellent, because you had the experience of having four siblings and all the things that you could share with them. The difference of the ages. That's wonderful, and obviously that's the limit that you say, but obviously that there can be either less or more, giving whatever
Yes.
opportunity there's. And yes, obviously, and I think it's very something interesting that you say. It's important, I also think, for children to have siblings. I would never think, or if I had the opportunity, or when I have the opportunity to have children, I would never think of only having one child. If I have one child, that's fine. I have no problem with it, but that wouldn't be my preference. My preference would be at least two, because I also had like the experience of having my brother, and my brother and I are very close, and we are only 16 months apart. He is older than
Oh
I
my
am.
God.
Yeah, so we are very close, and we are very
Very
similar,
cool.
and he's like my best friend, as I tell people. And I would like the same experience that I had with him. And because obviously, I would not like to only have one child, because I think only children are okay. They grow up fine, everything is good, but I think that they are missing that experience of sharing with someone that is similar to their age. Because if you are an only child, then yes, you have a lot of friends, you can share with many people, but you don't necessarily have like a confident, like a little best friend,
Yes.
like somebody that you can be with. And I think my brother thought or thinks the same way, because he just had a second child. He had a
Ah,
child 6 months ago, and my niece was born 7 months ago, and there are two children. Now I have
yes.
my nephew is 4 years old, and my niece is 7 months old, and they said, okay,
Ah,
they closed the factory, they're not going to have any more children. But I think it's wonderful that they had the opportunity, to have
yes.
those two children, because they can grow up together, and obviously get on their nerves, fight, be like brothers and sisters, but obviously support, because my nephew, they thought in the beginning that maybe he was going to be a little jealous of his little sister, that maybe he was going to get a lot of attention and everything. When you see them together, that's very wonderful to see, because it's
Mm.
no, he's my little sister, she's my little sister, I'm going to take care of my little sister. And then my mother tells him, okay, I'm going to take your little sister, and she's going to stay with me tonight. No, 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 you can't take my little sister, she has to be with me. She's going to be, yeah. So it's wonderful, to have the
Wonderful.
experience,
Yes.
yeah, that they can share with them.
Yes, yes. I think that I have that experience, and all my siblings are like, when I have like a homework, or I want something, because I am the little, and always they are like, Sophie, whatever you want, whatever you need. And that was wonderful, because my fathers are like, don't have to do more for me, because I have my siblings, like are my parents and my all. I think that it's all my life, my siblings. And when you say before, like, jealous, how do you say, sorry?
Jealous.
Jealous. Yes, jealous. And now okay, last week my sister-in-law, yes. No, sorry.
Cuñada.
No, yes, but my brother, my cuñada, sí, sister-in-law.
Yeah, the same
Sí.
sister-in-law.
My sister-in-law, like have a present to us, like a little dog. It's a the race. I remember. I don't remember. Okay. Ahora, ¿cómo es que cómo es que es la raza del perrito nuevo?
Rottweiler.
Rottweiler. I don't know why it's Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Rottweiler.
I think all the people say like it's very dangerous, but it's like a candy. It's very
Really?
small. It's very
Give me
cute.
1 second, please. Give me 1 second. Okay.
Yes. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. So you were saying that he was, very sweet, like a candy.
Yes, and when he say that she have like a present to us, we always think about the other dog that we have in the house that is a Grand Danese. I say before to you.
Yeah, Great Dane.
Yes, Great Dane, and we always think that will Dana, it's the great Dan. Will Dana will Dana stay with him, and okay, and we like accept, and it's very cute, but Dana have a little jealous, and Dana and Sep is very like a bad situation, and for that I like we went yesterday in the hotel wheel the little dog because of Dana, but I remember that. But it's very cute. I don't know where is, but I want to show you a photograph.
But it was a present. It's a present for you guys, and you guys are taking care of the dog, or for your family, or it's just your sister-in-law.
For us. It's because we have a farm, and for the farm, it's like a present for the farm, but because it was so little, we cannot bring to the farm. In that, like, yes.
And what is the name of your new family member?
Kaliman. Yes, my father put that name because of in the past he was a program of Kaliman.
Yeah,
I want a dog, and the name is Kaliman, please. It's Kaliman.
Okay, that's funny. Excellent. And would you like to have pets? When you're living, and you leave your parents' house, would you also like to live with pets besides children, or?
Yes, I want pets, and Martin love animals, and I love animals, but pets, but dogs, because cats I don't like.
Really?
No, I don't like cats because I don't know. My mom like always have like a feral and he always say like, no, cats is not good, and we like how do you say crecer? We
Grew up.
grow up with that, and I don't like cats, but I love dogs and turtles. I don't know. My brother has like a little bird, how do you say loro? There is a little parrot, yes, and it was so cute. But has a little parrot, and that's it. But cats, no.
Okay. Yeah, no,
You have pets?
No, I don't have any pets. In this moment, I don't have pets. And I used to have a pet, or I still have a pet at my parents' house. We have a dog. His name is Ricky. And Ricky is about
look, Caliman.
Hey, very cute.
Yes.
Looks like Ricardo de Jesus.
You see, he knows my dog. I was telling him about Ricardo Jesus. That's Ricky, the dog from my parents. Yes, Yes, my parents have a dog. We had a dog when I was living with them. He is a French poodle. He is about this moment, I think he is 16 or 17 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's lived with us for a long time. Yeah, he's very old, and unfortunately, he's still relatively normal. Obviously,
yes.
He still runs, he still eats and everything. The main problem he has is he's almost blind, because you say hello to him and you say Ricky, and he's like doesn't react sometimes, but then when he like senses you and smells you, he knows. And always he eats the same things as we do. An example, we are eating at the dinner table, and we always, the whole family, my parents, my brother, and I, we always give him part of our food. So there's a little piece of meat. Yeah, we give him meat. We've never had the restrictions, and many people don't agree with that, and I understand why. I completely respect that. I understand that. There's no problem. But we grew up, like that. We always grew up, since Ricky was a little baby, we always used to give him food, and we give him anything. And he loves, an example, he loves buñuelos. He loves to eat buñuelos. He loves pan de bono. He loves anything. So we always used to give him food. So in this moment, the only thing different is that we throw him the food, or we give him the food, and he doesn't see it. An example, I throw him a piece of buñuelo and he goes like this, he doesn't see it, and then I have to tell him, Ricky, there it is. But that's like the only problem that he has. And in this moment, he sleeps a lot more than he used to sleep, but he's still very active, which is the most important thing. And I grew up having a pet, but when I got married, my wife, she loves animals also. She loves dogs, she loves cats, but she says she doesn't want to have any pets because she doesn't want to go through the process of losing a pet, because obviously that process is very difficult. When you lose an animal, obviously you cry and everything. And I saw the example firsthand, because when we were dating, when we were boyfriend and girlfriend still and not married yet, when I used to go to her house, there was a cat that used to go visit them. So the cat, his name was Mickey. So Mickey, they gave him the name Mickey. So he used to go visit them, and she used to buy him, salchichon. She used to buy him milk, and she was very attached and very close to the cat. And then one day, the cat disappeared. The cat disappeared, never returned. Nobody knows what happened to him, and she was very sad. And she cried for like an hour of and I saw, okay, that I tried to be very, obviously understanding, but I was also thinking, hey, it's not her pet, so why is she so affected? So I imagine if she was so affected by a cat that was not hers, what happens if we have an animal, we get attached to them, and then so that's why she says that in the moment she doesn't feel able to have a pet. But I would love to have, dogs or cats, or she loves cats more than dogs. She really likes cats. Yes,
and cats is very easy to.
Cats are very easy to maintain. And
yes, because dogs, we always have to get out to the, because Dana lives in the apartment and we have to get out and go to the green zone, and he like do his things, and it's most it have more responsibility than a cat.
That's true. Yeah, cats are very independent, on their own. So, you don't need
Yes.
to take care of them as much. And, I've been looking at the situation and many people are changing that. Many people are using or having their pets as their children. The people decide not to have children and instead decide to have
Yes.
pets, and they treat them like pets. For me, it's like a good situation and bad situation at the same time. A good situation because pets are wonderful and you can take care of them and everything. But I think it's a bad situation, my personal opinion, because you are changing like a child for a dog. And I think obviously a pet is easier to maintain than a child, because obviously a child has a lot more greater responsibilities, and people are using that alternative because maybe they think that raising a child, and obviously the society and the situation of the country is a little complicated, maybe they prefer to have pets instead of children.
Yes, I think that all the youngest people want that, because think that have a child, it's a very responsibility thing. But I think the same with you. I think that the children, it's important, and not always we have to humanize. How do you say como humanizar?
Yes,
Humanize.
perfect.
Humanize the dog because it's a dog, and
Mhm.
and they do things like a dog and think like a dog. And I think that the people make mistake with that, because they like, oh, my dog, we have a party to my dog, the spa to the dog, and we're like, oh my god, have a lot of things that is, for me, is not good. But I don't know,
Mhm.
it's not like I don't love the dogs, not, it's not that. But I think that I don't want to humanize, and it's a dog, and I love, if the dog pass away, I was very sad. That, but it's like a animal, and the animals have like a nature, I don't know.
Yeah, the cycle of life, life cycle.
Yes.
Obviously, pets live less than humans. That's nature, that's the course of things. And, that's the same. Humanizing pets is a little difficult. I agree with you because, it's a little complicated because, when we start thinking of them as children, it's like a little complicated because we can confuse them, and like you say, they're still animals. So we don't, they still act like animals. We can take care of them and we can love them, but there are times when they become aggressive, times when they bite, or times when they don't listen. And with children, it's not necessarily the same case, because children have very clear that you are the parent. But dogs, yes, you are the master or you are the owner, but dogs are going to also take decisions like animals. They are not as rational as humans. So sometimes it's a little complicated
Yes.
when you have that type of combination.
Yes, it's true.
Okay. So another question about the future that I want to know is, what do you think, Sophia, is going to be the future of medicine? Obviously you are studying to become a doctor. What do you think is going to happen in about maybe 15, 20, 30 years in the field of medicine? Are we going to have more doctors, less doctors? Is it only going to be medicine based on technology or more natural medicine? What do you think is going to happen with the future of medicine?
Okay. Okay. I think that we're going to have a lot of doctors, a lot, because medicine, it's very like, how do you say apetecida?
Very appetized or very desired.
Okay, very appetizing. Now I don't know why, because I think that medicine is the future, and always the people have always the people need a doctor, and it's like a career that you always will find a job and always like have things to do. And I think the medicine is the future of technology, of searching, of no, sorry. And I think that it's gonna change, because we have like a very conservative doctors, and that it's not like help to the society, to the world now, because the technology help to us to develop another treatments and another like a diagnosis for the diseases. And I think that was gonna change, and the pandemic showed to us that medicine was forgot in for the people to is not important, and like show to us that is very important, and it's like all for us, because the pandemic changed our life, and we we and we forgot the normal things, but the normal things that are very very important, like wash your hands always when you eat, when you go out, when you do whatever you do. And he remember that for us, and remember a lot of things, that the life is like a moment, a little moment, and we have to celebrate, to enjoy it, and show to us too that the scientifics are the future, and the scientifics, all the scientists, they have like the power to help the world, and to change, and we're gonna like do better to the world.
Okay. Excellent. And thinking about that, what you're saying about technology and things, do you think that maybe when we are thinking about procedures like surgeries, I've seen that many surgeries now, many people are talking about like telemedicine, or doctors performing surgery from somewhere else, and that they don't have to be present, or that robots maybe are going to be the ones that are going to do the surgery, technology, artificial intelligence. Do you think that there's going to be a time when surgeons are not going to be needed in the operating room, or do you think that there's always going to have to be a human performing those type of procedures?
Okay, I always think that we always need surgeries, surgeons, because people there, because when you have a robot, you have to program you have a surgery about how do you say appendix?
The appendix or appendicitis?
Or appendicitis, yes.
The appendix is appendix is appendix.
Appendix, appendicitis, yes. And you are in the surgery, and it's not appendicitis, and it's another thing, but the robot have to was programmed about only that appendicitis. And I think that the person or the doctor have that they like the intelligence and all the things that we have to devolve the treatment, to devolve the surgery if have a problem or if another thing that we thought in the past. And I think that we never change. And the telemedicine, how do you say telemedicine? Sorry. Telemedicine. I think the telemedicine is it's very wonderful for for Colombia, for example, because we have now a problematic, a social problematic and economic, and in the towns is not like the surgery rooms and the hospitals. But if we have telemedicine, we can help that towns, that hospitals that are in that towns, and help like, okay, doctor, please stabilizar, how do you say? Stabilize the patient and put this drug, and I think that was like adventure to us, the communication, because the doctors in the past don't have like these how do you say herramientas? Sorry. The tools, and these tools is for good. It's to use it, and we can change like medicine with the tools, and we have to to how do they aprovecharlas?
Take advantage of.
Take advantage of. Yes.
Very good.
And for example, if a patient have like a cancer, but only the doctor of United States have like the treatment, and we can connect with the doctor in United States and the doctor in Colombia and communicate and say to him like, okay, Mia, okay, sorry. Okay, you have to do this, and if it's stabilized, he have to, or he will to travel, and I like take care of them.
Excellent. So, what do you think about one of the situations that we have, in our country is, like you say, the access to medicine, the access to doctors is a little complicated. And, one thing that people say is that medicine is very expensive for people, that there's going to be very expensive treatments, cancer, things like that. And there are other countries that have universal healthcare, that the government pays for all of the health, and health is relatively free. I say free like this because obviously people pay taxes, and the taxes help pay the doctors and everything. Do you think that we're going to be able to get in the future to that situation where there's going to be universal healthcare in Colombia, or do you think that the system is going to be the same that we have in this moment, with the EPS, EIPS, and things like that? What do you think is going to happen, for the access of medicine to the population?
Okay. I think like now, the reality is like we have problems, and if you don't have always the treatments, but like the statements of the how do you say leyes?
Laws.
Okay, the timing of the law of medicine and that's things. I think that is good. In Colombia, it's good because you have like a EPS, but for example, you have a work and your work like pay to the EPS and you have EPS and all the things, but you will not like go to the doctors. It's not common for you, but you always pay because you always want have EPS. But other people or other persons go to the doctors. Go to the doctor is very common for them. So it's like a balance, and if you don't go but the other person go but don't have money, you help that person. I think and that is the law in Colombia, and it's very wonderful because you pay and you help the people that don't have the opportunity to pay that you pay. And I think that the law in Colombia is good, but always have problems because the EPSs like rubber the money and don't bring like that system of them. But I think that we have to change the politics. The politicians, yes, the politicians, because the problem is not the law. It's not the law, but it's the people that how do you say manejar? Manage the law, because they do it bad. And for example, United States is very devolved. It's like the how do you say potencia?
Power.
It like the power of the world, because have a lot of economy, and they have the worst system of health. It's really they have the worst, but Germany have the best, and it's similar to Colombia. The love of healthcare system in Germany, it's like Colombia. How do you say copy? See, Colombia copy the healthcare system of Germany. Sorry, of Germany. Yes, but I think that the problem in Colombia is the politicians have not the law, but we can change that. But I think that is very difficult because the politicians always is young. If is young, if old, always we're gonna like robe. I don't know. They have like always that thing, and I think that was the problem. But in the future, I don't know if we're gonna like change that. I want to, but it's very difficult. But I think that was the problem, and that's it. But I love the healthcare system of Colombia. But when I got the experience to go to like the hospitals, like his name is Metro Salud,
Yeah.
and that like that center have to receive all the patients like homeless whatever thing, because it's the system of like, how do you say, alcalde, how do you say, is
The mayor, the alcalde is mayor.
the mayor. Eso.
Mhm.
It's like the system of the mayors of
Mhm.
Medellin,
Mhm.
but and I got the experience like the people don't have the treatments and don't have like the exams that they want, they need. But I think that the problem is the politicians, because the things are there, but because of the politicians don't pay to the EPSs, they can bring that needs to the people.
Mhm. Okay, excellent. And something that you said, mentioning, Metro Salud, all the things like that. I see that more people in this moment are, the people that have the opportunity are paying more for like private healthcare, like the prepaid medicine and things
Yes.
like that, because they say that it's better, or they have, more access to, or better access to doctors. Do you think that maybe that's going to continue and increase, that there are going to be more part of the population that are going to pay for private medicine instead of the normal subsidized medicine that we have in this moment?
Yes, the prime sister, how do you say?
Private, the private medicine, or the privatized medicine.
Yes, the private medicine will gonna increase very much, because the problem in Colombia, I say to you that it's the politicians, and the politicians will never change,
Okay.
or will never change.
Mhm.
And that's like a problem, and people saw and see the reality, and think that the private medicine is the future, and brings, it's very sad that brings like a private and better treatment than the others, because in the EPSs you have to you have to have the same treatment and the same people. And in the private medicine, your appointment, it's very easy, and with the EPS the appointment is very difficult, and it's very late. And I think that it's a problem, and we'll have that problem for a long time.
Okay. Very good. So maybe you think that the solution to that problem could be something very difficult, because you say it's more a political problem than an actual medical problem, right? So do you think that maybe
Sorry,
no.
you give me a one moment. Sorry, it's like Martini's shower, and the worker asked me something, and I don't know.
You are the boss. You are the boss in this moment. I was asking, you said that, one of the situations, or the biggest problem, is the thing about, the health, the politicians and everything. Do you think that there will maybe come a time when there are going to be politicians that are going to actually, do something good? Because, you see in the news that there are many young politicians. There is a mayor in, I think, in Cesar, that is like 18 years old. There's a councilman or a concejal that is very young, and they say the same thing. No, I am not corrupt. I'm going to help the future. Everything is going to be better. Do you think that eventually there are going to be politicians that are actually going to help people? Or do you think that they're going to maintain the same things that happen, and maybe they will get corrupt once they are in that system?
Okay, we have to say that all the politicians are not bad, because some of politicians have like the soul to help, and the people is important to them, but I think that the money for all the people is like an illusion, and we always like, money give us like a happiness, great moments, and then when they have the power, don't think that we can change the world when we are like way without power. But when we have the power, we like forgot all the things that we used to say to the people and to change the world. I think that that type of thinking, it's for all the politicians, or for all the people in the world. I know the people, no all the people like think the same, but it's always like get like influence and forgot the other things. And I think that is very difficult, but we have like have to the how do you say, like illusion that we have the illusion that what's gonna change, and like, yes, and save Colombia. I don't know, but I think it's very difficult, because the youngest politicians have like very good ideas, but that ideas were very difficult, and it's not simple, and say that ideas that is not simple. It's like how do you say engañar a la gente?
You cheat or fool people.
Or cheat the people, because that is very difficult to change in a city that it's very conservative, and I don't know. I think
that's very good opinion, and you are correct, or I agree with you when you say that one thing is for them when they get in the system, but obviously it's very difficult sometimes to change the system from the inside, because there's a big tradition of maybe the people that are responsible for the government, they don't necessarily do a lot. Obviously they're just there, people say, making money or wasting money, but there's not necessarily the disposition or the will, the voluntad to change, because obviously, like you say, they have very good ideas. Those ideas are very nice, very complete, but they're not necessarily going to be able to execute them, because in example, in the Congress, many people have to vote, and maybe that person that has the great idea does not have the political support. He doesn't have the mermelada around here, or the corruption or something. So obviously it could be a little difficult about that. And I wanted to ask you about, your future practice in medicine. Would you like to work in an institution like a hospital or clinic, something like that? Or would you like to have your private practice? What would you prefer between the two, or the combination of both? What would you like to do in the future?
Okay, in the first time, I want to get experience. I want to get experience in hospitals and in clinic, because I think that it was very important for the career. But in the future, more, I will gonna stay in a consult, and I will gonna don't work so much to spend time with my family, to travel. But I think the more earlier I want to stay in a clinic and a hospital, and that's things to help people. And if I think that we can change a lot of things, little things, but we can change and help the people in that space. Yes.
Okay, excellent. And would you just like to work, in the clinic or in the institutions? Would you only like to work as a doctor, or if you had the opportunity to be part of like the administration or management, would you like to have like a leadership role, or just focus necessarily on the patients?
I don't know, all the people like ask the same of the special of the like the topic you want to be when you finish your career. But I don't know, I love like all the topic of community to help to the administration to change things, to help people. But I love like stay with the patient, to talk with them, and I don't know what I want, but I love all the things.
Oh, that's wonderful. Obviously, I think if you have the opportunity, you have to take advantage of it, because, being in a leadership role, sometimes can help you change many things, because, I think that
Yes.
one of the frustrations that sometimes doctors have is that, they know that their patients need more things, and, they ask their bosses for those things, but the bosses say, no, there is no money, there is no
Yes.
resources, I can't do anything. But many of them say, no, when I am in that position, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to change, and I'm going to
Yes.
I'm going to help my colleagues, because I know how difficult it was. And, it's very important to maybe have the opportunity to be in a leadership position, but sometimes many people don't like that, because, what you are saying also is you are not as close to the patients. Obviously, being in an office, handling, budgets, reports, the other doctors, is not the same as actually, taking care of patients and being in the consultations and just interacting with people.
Yes, that's it. And when you mention like that is like frustrating, yes, frustrating for the doctor. It's true, because when you always say like if I was the boss, or if I will gonna be the boss, I change that. But when you stay and we in the position, you know that it's very difficult, because they have statements, they have laws, and that was like very difficult to help to change that it's statements.
Excellent. Okay. And thinking about, the future of hospitals and things like that, in our cities, there's many small clinics. Metro has some clinics, the EPS and the EPS have clinics. Do you think that more clinics are going to open, or that maybe bigger hospitals are going to open, and there's going to be fewer hospitals, but that can have a larger capacity? Or do you think that, more small institutions are going to help in more neighborhoods?
That things is like EPSs. And Confama, it's a EPS, Metrosalud, it's a EPS. And I think that EPS is the future, because they, how do you say, like, they, how do we say, ganar?
Ganar money, exactly what? Ganar
Money, yes, money.
money. So for money, they earn.
Yes, they earn a lot of money, because the government pay early for the treatments, and they have like the money early that have a patient. You understand me? Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that EPS it's going to be the future for that thing, because earn a lot of money.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting.
But a little hospitals.
Yeah.
But no, like San Vicente, Manuel Uribe. It's not, because that clinic earn a lot of money, but have a lot of how do you say, compromisos,
Commitment.
and have a lot of commitment, but the little that the small hospitals, they have don't have commitments, don't have a lot of commitments. Sorry.
No, okay. Excellent. Okay. And thinking about, what we're talking about and, us having class and our English practice, how are you going to use your English in the future? What are you going to do with your English as a doctor, or just to study in another place, or, in the future, what is going to be the use of your English for your profession?
Okay. The English in medicine is very important, because all the tests of medicine, all medicine is in English, because medicine is like born in England. In USA have a lot of developments and change, and medicine always change, all the treatments, all the things. And I think the English is so important for medicine, but for me is because I want in the future, I want to, I going to another place to study, to stay there. I like talked to Martin about that, because I want to like change, because Colombia, I love Colombia, but I think it's very difficult to change. And for the people, it's like very sad, we cannot help all the persons, all the people, and that was like a bad illusion for us. But I will gonna like change the city, and if I want to like, how do you say validar?
Validate.
Well, like
Validate.
validate my career in other country, and yes, I want to like to change, and I think that English is very important. And if I don't know, if I staying in another country, and I want to apply my career, I have to learn my I have to, how do you say, apply the language, and yes, that's it.
Do you think that,
when in the last week I was talking with the international relations university. It's good.
Yeah, you can say relations or relationships.
Okay, relationships, and he like offered to me like a travel in December to Miami, to a aesthetic clinic, and I think, oh my God, I want to practice more English, because I don't know. He offered Miami or Mexico, but I don't know. It's like I am not gonna to choose, because they chose to me.
Okay, so they're the ones that would tell you you're either going to Mexico or you're going to Miami.
Yes, they chose to me, and that's it.
Okay, and that program would be for what, like a small internship for a couple of months?
Yes,
or
it's small internship. It's to learn only, and like they validate for me for the work grade, like work
For the
work
trabajo de
grades.
grado,
Yes,
right?
trabajo de grado. Yes,
The thesis or the graduate.
the thesis. Yes. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Graduate.
Oh,
Graduate.
you have to
paper.
do, you have to also write in a graduate paper.
They give to us a lot of options, a graduate paper, that internship, and things to investigation, but I want the internship. And I want, yes.
No, I hope you get the
Yes.
opportunity, you know, and working with aesthetic is something different, you know, something very nice, and the opportunity to, you know, work in another country, either Mexico or the United States, might be a better opportunity, you know, just to learn different things. And I also wanted to ask you about that, you know, obviously medicine is, you know, my conception is that medicine is universal. You know, I think that the medicine in Colombia should be the same in the United States and should be the same in China, should be the same in all parts of the world, because we all have the same problems and we all have the same remedies or procedures. An example, if I break my arm, I have to get a cast and I have to get every. Do you think that
Yes.
there's going to be one day when medicine is actually 100% universal? And an example, you are from Colombia, but you are going to be able to practice medicine in England, you know, without having to go through a big validation process? Or do you think that medicine is still going to be very individual or according to each country?
I think it's very individual, because if you mention like we have the same problems, but it's not only the same problems, because for example in Haiti they have a lot of malaria. In Colombia, no. And
Okay.
sorry, in Colombia, yes, but in United States, no. And it's a different problems about the economy. The economy is very important in medicine, because we don't have all the treatments that have in United States, because United States is more development, have the better treatments, the more like I don't know, it's very expensive treatments, that in Colombia, that treatments not come because of the economy, because all the people don't have to buy that, to pay that treatment because of the money. And I think that always be different in another country, because all the countries have like a different disease that it's like, how do you say,
Characteristic of
for the countries. Because in England they don't have like tropic, they don't have like malaria, dengue, the snake bite. It's not common in England, but in Colombia it's very common, because we have a lot of tropic. And Brazil is very similar to Colombia, and Haiti is very similar, but in Haiti they don't have like that opportunities, because it's very poor. The country is very poor, and I think it's always be different, always. And you know, the people, it's, you are Latin, you are like England, it's very different, because your nutrition is different, your healthcare is different, your life is different. Like we have how do you say costumbres? Sorry. Costumes. We have like costumes to eat beets in USA. It's not beets, it's another thing. And nutrition to beets it's very good, but it's very like how do you say pesado? No.
Heavy,
But it's very heavy if you eat it in the night. But if the United people, how do you say, like, yes,
the American,
yes, the American, okay, the American eats beet, is very heavy to them, to eat it in the breakfast, in the afternoon. And for us, it's very heavy, but we have the costumes to consume that. And I think that always be different because all the countries have different people, different costumes, different healthcare, different problems, different hair care problems, and different things. And we always have to like validate, yes, like medicine in another country because it's very different.
Okay, wow, very interesting. Excellent.
For example, my teachers always say like, okay, the treatment it's like acetaminophen. I don't know, whatever you think. But if you are in United States, you have acetamin AA. Well, it's more like they compare that in other countries have more the better treatment that we can have in Colombia. But in Colombia, the medicine is very good. They always like compare it, and we are so like prepared to compete with another country. And a lot of doctors travel and stay in another country, and how do you say como se destacan?
Stand out.
Stand out for the like the career and all the things. Because Colombia is very in Colombia the study is very good in all the careers, I think.
Oh, excellent. Okay. And thinking a little bit about, the universality or, the universalness of medicine. One thing that I was thinking about is medicine and, taking into account, the situation of what happened, with this pandemic and everything, with the vaccines and everything that is happening, with the development of new medicines and things. One of the things that I see that is like a situation, or one thing that a problem that I see maybe with medicine in general, is the access to specific types of medicine, because that medicine has a patent, or that medicine is the property of another person. Another person developed, the pharmaceutical laboratories developed that, and they are the only ones that can sell that medicine. Do you think that there's going to be a time when that's not going to be the situation, and that maybe the world is going to change and people are going to say, no, we are not thinking about medicine as money. We are not thinking about treatments just to make money, but we are going to open the access to many people. Patents are not going to exist anymore. Medicine and treatments the access to the information is going to be universal. Do you think that's possible, or do you think that maybe I'm dreaming and thinking of a utopic situation?
So, sorry. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry.
No.
I have to use my cell phone to share internet.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So were you able to hear my whole question, or do you want me to repeat?
Your question is if in the future we have patent to the treatments.
Like
It's like
universal
that, no?
patents, exactly. Yes, if you think, that when
Yes.
somebody creates a new vaccine, a new treatment, are they going to make it accessible to everybody, or they're still going to have the patent system and say, no, I created this, I'm going to be the only one that has this? What do you think it's going to happen, or am I maybe thinking very utopically? Or
Okay, I think that have the two things that they want and they have to share with the people because they earn money in that way, but they always want to patent because of the thing that they earn more money and they have credits about like the treatment to develop that treatment. And I think that always be the patent the owner of the treatment. I think because it's very commercial. And for example, how do you say vacunas? Sorry.
vaccines?
How do you say vacunas?
Vaccine.
Vaccines, yes.
Mhm.
And I think that the vaccines, for example, of the COVID-19, it's like a business and have earned a lot of money, and the pharmacies don't want to that change because it's the business of that companies.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. And thinking about a different type of medicine, there are many people that use like holistic, natural medicine, using products from, nature, plants, and things like that. Do you think that we are going to maybe return to some of those practices of using, the solutions that come from nature? Or do you think that, because obviously I think that we have to take care of nature and take care of the world and everything. Do you think that that's going to maybe evolve and people are going to start using more natural treatments? Or are we still going to be using a lot of chemical, produced in a laboratory? Do you think that maybe we're going to return a little bit to use nature for medicine?
Okay, the youngest people like more holistic and natural things, and the area of vegan, of to like to save the animals and all that things. I think that the people will gonna use more holistic and natural things because they think that the process thing and scientific things are bad, but that I think that is the future, and that we have to get advantage of that, because in the past we don't have that things, and we have to get advantage and to yes, but now people for example, if like it's like a group like mamas anti-vacunas, how do you say, like
I would say anti-vaccine mothers.
and anti-vaccines mothers. That was horrible because a lot of children are dying about that, because the vaccine is the future and save life, and because of holistic and natural things are like how do you say that, dañando,
Harming.
harming like the work for the doctors or your scientific things. They are worrying that, and that was very like difficult thing in medicine that the teachers learned to us. And I think that holistic natural things are good, but in medicine all have like graduate paper, like papers, yes, like investigations, and because it's the health of the person, and holistic natural don't have like that things. And for us it's very important to recommend. I think we have like a paper to compare how do you say comprobar, how do you say comprobar?
Proof. To prove.
Yes, proof, to prove that that is good, and it's gonna help you, and that's it.
Very good. Yeah. Another thing that I was thinking about is that, a lot of things that have to, or many things that are changing have to do with the mind. Obviously stress is a very important illness, and, mental health has become a very important aspect of medicine, because, before, people didn't take mental health very seriously. An example, when our parents were younger, or even when we were younger, when you were thinking about seeing a psychologist, seeing a therapist, going to a psychological consultation, many people would say, no, you are crazy, you shouldn't do that, that's not good. They're going to change your mind, or they're going to manipulate you. Do you think that people in the future are going to become more accepting of mental health and recognizing their problems? Or do you think that we are, specifically in Colombia, are going to still be very traditional and think that mental health is more like a disease or a problem than an actual solution to something that we can have?
Okay, for the pandemic, all the situations that the internet, all the things that you have the facility to connect with other persons, the mental health it's gonna be the disease of the future, because have a lot of things that people don't understand now, and I think that the conservative groups, it's more like it's changing now, and it's the future, and mental health is a disease, and we have to recognize that, to learn about that, because the people say like it's not a disease. You want to think that you want to stay in that mood, but it's not. It's like a decision. It's not like a disease, and I think it's a disease. It's like when you like how do you say, like yes, it's like you broke a leg or broke an arm. It's the same, because you don't have the ability to change what are you thinking, because it's a disease, and it's mental, and I think that it will gonna be the disease of the future, about all the things that you have. When I say before, connect with other people, to search a lot of things, to the pandemic, when we are like around without the people, like in the house with our families and all that things.
Okay, very good. Yes. And do you think that we are going to be prepared to be able to, help people, in the future? Do you think that, we are getting prepared as well as possible to help with mental illnesses? Or do you think that maybe there's a lot of work to be done and there's many things to do before we can actually, take care of people that have, serious mental illnesses?
I think that we have a lot to do to work about that, because the first one, people don't recognize that like that disease. The second one, the people like have like a fear about say that you have like a, a mental disease. The third one, when they have like a fear, they choose to pass away, to don't search help and that things. And the fourth one, I think we are not prepared, and we are not have the like the how do you say, like we don't have como los especialistas necesarios. We don't have like, yes, because
the necessary specialist or the necessary
okay,
personnel.
The necessary personnel, because today in medicine we have some conservative like doctors too, and they like don't think that we have more personal or specialists of mental health or mental care.
Okay.
Mental health care, yes.
Excellent. And you're very young and you're going to finish your career very young. I see that in school, people are graduating earlier, and there are children or teenagers that are graduating 14, 15 years old. Do you think that maybe education is going to change a little bit and doctors are going to be younger and younger, or the doctors are going to have more or less the same age when they finish their careers? An example, in the future, are we going to have a doctor that is going to finish their medical career when they are 18, or the first part of the medical career, without any specialization? Do you think that we're going to have teenage doctors, 18, 19, 20-year-old doctors? Or do you think that doctors are going to have the same premise or situation in this moment when they finish their career at about 23, 24, 25, and then are able to practice medicine?
I think that the doctors are gonna be more youngest than now, because for example, I am impressive, and I have like my teachers are like 30, and they have her specialists, and they work, and they are teachers, and oh my god, it's very young, and they do everything now. And I don't know, I think it's more like past the time, the doctors, it will gonna be more youngest than now, because we always like, it's like I think very conservative, that all the doctors and the good doctors are oldest, and that is not true. For example, a lot of patients say to us like, oh no, you are very young, please, it's better like your teacher, because they have a more experience. And we are like, no, we can attend, like we can we know all the concepts, and we can like treat you. And the oldest people don't how do you say confianza?
Don't confiar is, you can use the same word in different situations. Trust is confianza and confiar as a verb or as a noun.
Okay, don't trust a lot of John's doctors, because they think that they don't know the things, and they can like treatment they will. And that is very sad, because it's a lot of people or a lot of all these people that think that, and that is not true. We are like prepared, like we the oldest, because for example, I study with a mother that have 30 years old, but it's in eighth semester. But you know, the age is not like say to you that if you are prepared or not prepared, that you have the experience. Not, for example, when I am like surprised when my teachers are very young and they say like it's very hard work because of that I mentioned. But we always we always attend the patient if they say that. But and we how do you say demostrar?
Show.
And
Or
we
demonstrate.
show and demonstrate that we can and we know. But I think the doctors will gonna be more youngest than now.
They're going to be not youngest, but younger.
Okay, younger. Sorry, younger.
Because younger is the perfect. And the role of women, you know, an example, obviously, there are more women than men in the world, but in professions, you know, normally like medicine or in most of the professions, it's more dominated by men than women because of many reasons, right? Access, opportunities, etc. Do you think that in the future there are going to be more women in positions of power in medicine and more women practicing medicine? Or do you think it's still going to be very dominated by men?
I think that is very dominated, but I think it's very dominated for women because, for example, in my group we are like 16, 60, and sí, 60, ¿cierto? Dije bien. How do
60,
yes, 60.
60.
16, and sorry, 16, and all the group is it's woman. We have like I don't know, men's are two, but always in all the careers, I think that always are more women than men's. But and I think that a woman now is like development about the feminist thing, that if they have children's, it's like no worry, we can do it, we can study, we can work. And I think that like dominate, it's more for women because women is more, it's like more, I don't know, it's more, how do you say, como constante, like more
constant, yes.
Yes, more constant, and that's it. But I think in for example, in my career, it's the same, but I see more women than men.
Okay. Perfect. And in the same, you know, in the hospital, the directors, there are going to be more women, or there are more women directors, more women bosses. And you think that's going to be the same thing? Or do you think that, you know, the director or the leadership roles are going to continue to be in the position of men?
I think now, because now the feminist thing is like very constant. I don't know. I don't like feminist thing because I think that we are the same and we don't have to resolve the feminist thing. But I think that now is like it's like a, how do you say, moda?
Trend.
Like a trend, yes. Now it's like a trend, and for that, like companies and hospitals want to the directors or have a lot of women to trend and to have that fact in social, to impact people, and to, oh my god, in the hospitals the director is a woman and never was a woman, and that is a very commercial thing. And I think that for that we're gonna be for commercial thing, not for women, for the trend, the commercial, and say oh yes, a woman is it's the world, the best company in the world. For example, the prime minister of Germany, that is a woman, and always the prime minister, it's a woman in Germany, and it's very it's very wonderful, and I think that it's for that part.
Okay, you say it's something more political, more image than actually just marriage.
I think that you know me in this class, and I love politician things. I love, but I think that I never want to profound in that things, in that topics, because politic things are very dangerous, very
controversial.
Yes, and always have a problem, and I want talk, and I want to I love read, love, and change opinions, but I don't want to be a politician. But I love it.
Okay, that's wonderful. There's different way to be a politician, obviously talking to people, influencing people, working. There's different ways to get that. And before we finish, I have one final question. One of the problems that I see with people is respiratory diseases. People are having problems with asthma, they're having difficulty breathing, and one of the things they say, it's because of the contamination that there is. Obviously, we live in cities like Medellin, Bogota, Mexico City, that are very contaminated. Do you think that we are trying to become more ecological, changing from gasoline to solar to energy? Do you think that we are actually going to do something to diminish or to improve the people that have respiratory diseases? Or do you think that the contamination is going to continue, the pollution is going to be the same, and that actually there are going to be more respiratory problems in the future than there are in the moment?
I think that will gonna change, because respiratory diseases in the past are very common too, because all our grandparents or fathers cook with how do you say, leña, that was
Firewood.
very dangerous for the health. And I think that it's changing now. It's changing now, and that's what's very good, because that was very dangerous. And all, for example, my grandmother have EPOC, and EPOC, I don't know if how do you say, how to pronounce, and all that things, but for firewood, and I think that is changing. For example, when I say to you before that youngest people is more more holistic, natural thing, vegan, no more plastic, no things to save the world, because we have a lot of contamination, a lot of garbage in the sea, in the ocean, yes, in the ocean. And I think that we're gonna change, and we're gonna be more responsibility about these things, because we don't think that we are like doing bad to the environment, but I think that we are more like like conscious. I don't know.
Conscientes.
Yes, conscientes.
Conscious.
Conscience. Yes, I think that we are more conscious and we can like reduce the respiratory. How do you say? Sorry. Respiratory disease for the future of that, because we are changing. For example, the vegan people say that we cannot eat meal because the cows and that animals like produce CO2. How do you say?
Yes, correct.
CO2,
Yes,
CO2, and that was like so wonderful for the health. But I think for that thing of vegans, I think that it's very like controversial and very like how do you say, like very, how do you say, como exagerado, like
exaggerated.
Because I think in the medicine, I think we have and we need for the body meat, eggs, all that things to develop to the nutrition or whatever that things. But for the environment, I'm with us, with the people that like safe and to have that controversial of the environment, because they want, and we have to change and save the world for our life. And for example, how do you say capa de ozono?
Ozone layer.
Ozone layer it's like a finish. Ozone layer is like a finish her ozone layer. I don't know, how do you say, como que se está acabando. Yes,
it's disappearing.
Yes, it's disappearing. And now we have a lot of, like, how do you say, okay, we have a lot of how do you say, como cáncer de piel, cancer.
You can say skin cancer or
skin cancer. Okay.
Skin related diseases.
Okay, for ozone layer is disappearing, we have a lot of skin cancer or skin related with disease, and we have to work, because that is very important, and that is a disease that is very difficult to control if you don't control in time. And in the environment, the carbon dioxide and all the things help to the ozone layer to won't disappearing so earlier. And I think that all the things are related.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Okay. Perfect.
You know that in Netflix are like a how do you say documentary? Yes, a documentary that is like the environment of the world, and it's very nice.
Okay, I'll look at it to see what it is. Excellent. Okay. Very good. So again, we're just coming to the end of the class. Again, congratulations on your excellent speech. Very fluid, great vocabulary, great things. I wrote down some things so we can consider, just some small corrections so you can just remember. Okay. In the beginning, you said help to, and in this case, when you use the word help, you don't need to. You can just omit the to and say help him, help people, help this, but to is not necessary. You don't need to use that article to. Okay. so you don't have to use it. Another thing is, ooh, you disappeared. Hello?
Only help. Hi.
Yeah.
Only help.
Yeah. Only help.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Only
Okay.
help. And remember the third person and things you said later, you were talking about the hotel have, and it would be hotel has. That's all the thing that you have to do.
Yes.
Remember, sometimes you said persons instead of people. Remember, always for plural, we say people. Okay. And when we are talking about our age in Spanish, we do say I have. I have this age or ta ta ta. But in English, remember that we have to use the to be verb for age. I am not of the age. Ta, ta, ta. That's what we have to do. And later you said one of the things you said medicine was forgot, and it's not medicine was forgot, but you have to use the past participle. Medicine was forgot, right? La medicina fue olvidada.
Forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah. Medicine was forgotten. When we are talking about animals, race is for humans, and when we are talking about animals, the different type of animals, we would say breed. An example, the breed of Choco is the chocolate Labrador, or the breed of this. Okay, because you said the word race, and race is for humans and not for animals. Therefore, less.
Okay.
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 And when you're combining the future, you said in some situations will gonna. You were combining will with going to, and we can't make that combination. You would either use will or use gonna with the verb. Gonna or going. The pronunciation is excellent. There's no problem to pronounce gonna, but will gonna together, we can't use it. It's either will or gonna. An example, will increase, will be. Instead of will gonna be, it's either will be or is going to be or is gonna be. Okay.
Okay.
But that's the basic minor correction that I had to do. But excellent job as always. Great vocabulary. And also I found the epoch in English would be the one I have here, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Okay, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And I want to like to how como contarte algo.
Oh, yes, tell me something.
I want to tell you something. And in this week or last weekend, I was like I put TED and
Excellent.
was very wonderful because I put it with subtitles in English and I understand like things and I write another things, but I think that was very interesting thing that I do it that for the first time.
That's wonderful. That's way that you can practice. And TED is excellent because you can look things focused on medicine. There's many things that have to do with medicine or
Yes.
politics, like you have. I've also seen some presentations or some TED Talks where they're talking about how maybe people can change politics a little bit, or how certain things that we can do can change our society.
Yes. Okay. Yes. It's very interesting like program because have a lot of topics. Yes.
Okay, that's excellent. Okay, you did an excellent job today. I don't know if you have any questions or comments.
Yes, I have a question. You mentioned in the last class, you're mentioning, yes, in the last class that the payment we can like because I forgot everything like everything. If we can like do it like a month, I pay you 200 and that's things.
There's no problem for me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Today we start a month and okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
I will, if you want, I can organize that and I will keep a record of the classes that we have and I'll send you the relation. Okay, we did or just every 4 weeks. So
okay,
you don't.
Thank you. Yes, that was helping to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Juan David. Thank you. Okay. You're so kind. Bye.
Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye.
Day. Bye.